Yo, what's good everyone? I'm back with another top 10 video. If you guys saw, I just dropped my top 10 underground albums of the year. So, bouncing off of that video, I am going to be giving you guys my top 10 new artists of the year in the underground. Just a disclaimer, these are not necessarily new artists in terms of how long they've been making music, but these are new artists to me, new artists that I got put onto this year, all for the most part in the underground, artists in which I think are super underrated and should get a lot more publicity. But again, like I said, these are not new artists. You guys may have been listening to some of these artists for years, but for me, I found out about all of these guys this year. So without further ado, let's go. Coming in at number 10, I'm going to give it to the Devilish Trio. You guys, obviously, for the most part of all of these artists, told me to react to them. I did, and I found their stuff very intriguing, from their thematic ideas to their beat selection, obviously a more Memphis sound to their music. I obviously like what the trio consists of. I've done a few reactions to their music, and in both of those reactions I've really enjoyed what I've heard. Again, I definitely needed to check out some more of them, but from what I've heard and what I reacted to this year, I thought that they are a super underrated group. Obviously, you guys told me that they're not together anymore, which is super unfortunate, but for what they put out as a trio, they're definitely one of my favorites that I've heard this year for the first time, and I'm excited to continue diving into their discography, probably checking out some albums and maybe another first listening to reaction. Coming in at number 9, I gotta give it to Scarlxrd. Obviously, most of these artists have been around for a while, but Scarlxrd is one artist that I've had my eyes on for a few years. I didn't ever get the chance or really dive into his music before this year, but ever since I've heard some of his songs, I've been very, again, intrigued at what he has to offer in terms of an artist. Super unique in terms of kind of being a trailblazer in the trap metal scene, showing how versatile the trap metal scene can be. His music is definitely an acquired taste. It's not too much hip-hop or rap in terms of the instrumentals and the beats, but when you hear those 808s and you hear how he just all of a sudden flows at a supersonic speed, you can see how talented Scarlxrd is as an artist. He puts out a ton of music. All of his albums are very long, very intricate and thought through, and I really like that aspect about his music as well. Again, such a talented artist, can scream, can rap super fast, have these really crazy screams, and just overall good deliveries and flows and everything that you would ask for in a trap metal artist. I checked out Doom 1, Doom 2, a few of his other albums as well, and I really liked all those albums. Excited for what he has in 2022, because I've seen he's definitely put out a steady stream of music, and I'm excited to check some more of his stuff out. Coming in at number 8, I'm gonna go with Bones. Bones is yet another artist that you guys put me onto. A super unique artist, definitely a Memphis sound. I reacted to a few of his past albums this year, and all of those I thought were very, very interesting to listen to. A very unique rapper in terms of what he can do. He can sing as well, which I think is very, very important. If you're an artist coming up, you got to show that you offer some versatility to, I guess, fully optimize your fan base and get more people put onto your music. And that's why I got put onto him and have continued listening to him, because he shows why he's not only a rapper, but he can also sing and make these beautiful hooks and whatnot. Team Sesh has a crazy amount of producers and artists, which I think is super cool. He's built up a massive brand for himself and his team. I think that's very cool. Puts out a ton of music, a few albums each year, which is very rare in the rap game and the music game in general. So very cool to see that he continues to put out music, put out songs for his fans. One of my favorites that you guys put me onto this year, and this is why he's coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, Ramirez. I've always been a big fan of that West Coast sound, and Ramirez shows why it's such a fun sound to listen to, with his very smooth flows and deliveries. He can do it all as well. I also reacted to one of his songs that he did with Zilla Kami where he was going crazy. Other songs and his entire album, like the Player's Manual, which I reacted to, obviously didn't come out this year, but I reacted to it, and that was one of my favorite albums that I've reacted to on this entire channel. The production, the kind of themes that were brought up in the album, the structure of it, from kind of like these skits in the beginning. It had its own like radio show sound. He started off the album kind of being like a radio host, and at the very end was closing off the radio show being the entire album, which I thought was such a unique idea. Ramirez, such a talented artist who can do a lot with his sound. Love the West Coast sound, love what he has to offer to the West Coast sound, and I'm definitely excited to hear more of his music. Hopefully he puts out an album in 2022. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Now this right here at number 6 where it gets a little bit tough, but I'm gonna have to go with Tara Reid. You guys know, ever since hearing Buried Alive, I've been hooked on Tara Reid. He kind of has that old school like boom bap feel. Not super boom bap, but you definitely can hear that he has some of his inspirations from that sound. From all of the songs that I've reacted to him, I don't think there's one miss. Almost every single song that I've heard by him, and mind you, he doesn't have the deepest discography, but every song under the name Tara Reid I think is a hit. Almost every song I have on a playlist. Buried Alive, one of my favorite songs of the year. Honestly, Buried Alive, one of my favorite songs that I've heard in such a long time. It's been on repeat nonstop. Tara Reid, such an interesting character as well, because obviously he goes by Getter and does some EDM, which I think is super unique, showing that he's truly an artist in terms of what he can do. He can rap under a different name and produce and do all these things under another. So again, showing why he's super talented, super underrated as well. If you like that old school boom bap type rap, definitely give Tara Reid a listen, because he's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites that I've heard this year, and I'll continue listening to his music. He definitely needs to drop some more because we don't get enough Tara Reid. Coming in at number 5, I'm going to have to give it to Lovell. Yet another artist that you guys told me to listen to, and he did not disappoint when I first listened to him. If you guys saw my top 10 albums of the year, his album that he dropped this year was on that list because I thought it was super solid. Again, Lovell has a crazy delivery with his voice, some crazy flows, really catchy hooks as well. I think he's super talented. I've liked the stuff that he's done with the Suicide Boys, and I really want to hear some more of his music because, and quite honestly, I haven't heard a lot, but from what I have heard, really good artist, really talented, can do a lot with his delivery, has some crazy instrumentals as well, and I think he definitely has a bright future in the rap game. I definitely hope a lot more people listen to him because he definitely deserves it. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to have to give it to BabyTron, RMC Mike, and Krisplife Kid. These 3 artists, if you've never heard of them, are from the Michigan, Detroit, Flint area, and they definitely have that Michigan sound. They're super fun to listen to. Their bars and their wordplay, their flows, the instrumentals that they use are super different. Again, fun to listen to, quite honestly. You can just tell that they have fun making music. I couldn't just give it to BabyTron because I also liked what RMC Mike did. I've listened to a lot of his stuff along with Krisplife Kid. Those 3 artists in general are really, this year alone, are some of the best up-and-coming artists in general, not just from what I found this year, but in general. They've been popping ever since being on Yachty's Michigan album. I've been put on to all 3 of them. I couldn't just give it to one, so I'll give it to all 3. I think they have a super bright future. I'm really excited to hear what they do in the future because a lot of these Michigan artists, they put out a ton of music, and it's, again, fun to listen to. I think they're all super funny, super talented, which is why they're all coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, I gotta give it to Ghostemane. Ghostemane was one of my favorite artists that I've reacted to this entire year. Again, a pioneer for the trap metal genre. He essentially prompted me to kind of make a trap metal commentary video. I don't think there's ever been an artist like Ghostemane. I don't think anyone comes close in terms of his sound. His flow is insane. You always know it's a Ghostemane song when you hear these crazy 808s, or when you're watching the music video and this like creepy cartoon comes up. I don't even know how to explain it, but you guys know what I mean. If you know, you know. But Ghostemane, one of a kind. One of a kind. I've used the word unique on a lot of these artists, but Ghostemane, truly one of a kind. Haven't heard another artist sound like him. The trap metal instrumentals and the 808s especially. I love 808s, and if you like 808s, you'll definitely like Ghostemane. His flows, flows are insane. I don't even know how to categorize them because he'd be going so fast, so I can't even keep up half of the time. And again, I'm excited to hear what he has to offer in the next few years. Obviously, haven't dived the deepest into his discography, have heard a few albums, but I need to continue listening to some of his music. Maybe pretty soon I'll have to do a Ghostemane part 3, because I know you guys love the first 2 parts that I did. So definitely got to listen to some more Ghostemane, and I'm excited to, because each song that I've listened to by him has been different, unique, and such a good and talented artist. And similar to my top 10 albums of the year, coming in at number 2, the Suicide Boys. I've had my eyes on the Suicide Boys for a few years. Obviously, I've heard of them. I've been listening to underground music for a while, so how could I have not heard of the Suicide Boys? This year, I finally decided to give them a try, and I'm very glad that I did. My boy Teddy put me onto them. You guys know that from the first reaction I did to them. And I am very thankful that you guys picked out some great songs for me to listen to. Some great albums as well. Long-Term Effects of Suffering, my second favorite album of the year. It's been on repeat ever since it came out. Love the instrumentals that they use. Love that southern sound that they have. They flow so well together. Ruby and Scrim always kind of go off of each other. They bring their own style to the duo, their own style to the songs. Sometimes they might rap, sometimes they might sing. Other times they might have like a boom bap type flow, which is what we saw on the album that I just mentioned. They can do it all. They really can. Super versatile. I'm really excited to see what they have to offer next. Hopefully another album in 2022. If not, that's cool. I'll definitely check out some of their older stuff as well, because there's definitely some more stuff for me to listen to. They've dropped a lot of music, massive discography, and definitely one of my favorite artists that I have discovered this year, and will continue to listen to in the next few years. And coming in at number 1, just like the top 10 albums, I'm gonna have to give it to Drippin So Pretty. I originally found Drippin So Pretty in January, maybe late December of last year. After listening to his song Another Cup on SoundCloud, I was like, this dude is different. I haven't heard an artist really sound like Drippin So Pretty. After hearing that song with Lil Peep, I checked out a lot of his other songs, saw that he's been in the game for quite a while, collaborating with a lot of artists that I really like. So I continued checking out his discography, saw that he dropped a few singles like 18 at the beginning of this year, ultimately dropped Rest in Peace a few months later, and after hearing that album, that really solidified his spot at the number 1 place here today. I think he's probably my most listened to artist of the year. You guys have seen in a few of my other videos how I brought up Spotify Wraps, and him and a lot of his songs are at the very top of my Spotify Wrap, because again, he's been on repeat. I've had him on nonstop. Super interesting backstory as well. A really good artist, super underrated, criminally underrated. I think he has a super bright future. His sound is super unique. He's very versatile in terms of what he can do, singing, rapping, creating some really catchy melodies and hooks as well. Yeah, I think that he has a super bright future. Excited for what he has next. And yeah, that was my top 10 new artists of 2021. Like I said, these are artists that you guys probably have heard for quite some time. But for me personally, just found out about all of these guys this year. They're super underrated, all of them. Hopefully in 2022, they can get some more publicity. Hopefully more people catch on to their talents. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like. Comment who you guys thought had a great 2021, who you got put on to. Hopefully I helped you guys find some new artists, because that's the goal, ultimately. Spread the music, and this is why I like making these videos. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love this year, and peace.